Now on KIRO 7 News.
Congratulations on the Super Bowl win. Take it back to Seattle. You're Super Bowl champs.
Nothing tastes as good as getting your leg back. Tastes good, don't it?
Revenge tastes so sweet after a bitter ending to the Super Bowl 11 years ago that Beast Mode remembers all too well. The Seahawks get redemption.
I'm a champ. They can't take it from me.
That's right, we are Super Bowl champions. The defense comes through with Jason Myers kicking a Super Bowl record 5 field goals. The Lombardi Trophy is coming back to Seattle.
And take a look at the front page of the Seattle Times. Look at that. Nwosu there in the end zone and redemption right across the top.
In just over 3 hours, we'll be hearing from the Hawks in Santa Clara as they wake up world champions. The city celebrated with fireworks over the Space Needle. Oh, it looks so good.
It was a dominant defensive performance with the Hawks breaking through thanks to a slew of field goals, a couple of touchdowns, and Kenneth Walker, our Super Bowl MVP. And from the upcoming parade to brand new Super Bowl merchandise you want to get this morning to the celebrations here and in Santa Clara, we've got team coverage for you. Let's start this morning with Eric Thomas live outside Levi Stadium. Eric.
That's right. And, you know, last night was great for a couple of reasons. When we talk about last March and Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, a lot of people wondered what the Seahawks would look like. 17 wins and a Super Bowl title at Levi Stadium later, and we know they are the champs. Doing it all at what we call Lumen South as the Hawks continue to take over Santa Clara. They finished the season on a 10-game win streak, the first team in league history to win it all without coughing it up. No turnovers this postseason, led by Mike McDonald, a 38-year-old head coach with a bright future ahead, and Sam Darnold, the veteran QB, who's finally silenced the doubters.
Feels pretty damn good, man. Feels great. World champs, brother. Best feeling in the world. I'm a champ. They can't take it from me. They got to put respect on it.
Same goes for that defense. The dark side, which may go down as one of the best defensive outings in Super Bowl history, pitching a shutout through the first 3 quarters, finishing the game with 6 sacks, 2 picks, one of those for a touchdown, a fumble recovery, and, of course, the second title in team history. Extra sweet because it means redemption. And we'll check back in 30 with how fans are turning the page on what was the most heartbreaking loss in franchise history. A thing of the past now as we celebrate title number 2, both here in the Bay and back in Seattle. For now, live in Santa Clara, Eric Thomas, KIRO 7 News.
I don't even know what he's talking about, this other loss. I have no idea.
I forgot it.
No idea. Never heard of it. Nope.
Thanks, Eric. Welcome to KIRO 7 News in the morning. 5:03. I'm Lindsay Sheldon.
And I'm Dee Dee Sun. How are you feeling, 12? We're getting you ready for this Monday. We're checking weather and traffic every 10 minutes.
I'm excited for this parade.
Oh, my gosh.
You've got it.
Getting you prepped for that, for sure. Paula Tristan-Ruta is going to be breaking down the route.
Yes.
Let's get to meteorologist Nick Aller first. Nick, this morning it's a little drizzly, but parade is going to look pretty good.
It really does. Now, I will say for the parade itself, you do have to expect to see some fog, and we're going to look at that specifically hour by hour in just a few. But I wanted to make sure I get you out the door now, and you can see some rain. And I told you at 4:30 you had about an hour or so before most of this band is pushed through, and that's still looking pretty good. But you do have some moderate rain on your pinpoint storm tracker right around like Northgate, pushing into almost Redmond now, just east of 405. That will continue to push east-northeast. And the rain we had this morning, it should mainly only be here around this morning. And then it's kind of just spotty showers. And yeah, absolutely around all day, but just spotty showers. And then we're mainly dry again until Friday, including for the parade. So that's what I want to start with here in just a few minutes. So you're ready for that. I got you covered. But at 5:04, real-time traffic with Paola, Tristan, Aruda, and yes, we still have some rain.
Yeah, and you can see it right here on this washed-out camera, 405, right at 167 in Renton. Some slick spots out there, but you can see for the most part, traffic is looking pretty nice for an early Monday morning. I'm sure a lot of folks are probably not making it to work this morning, so take advantage of the clear roads right now, especially as you head down from the North Sound into the Central Sound, not following any major issues through Marysville or Everett down to Linwood and Shoreline. But we'll take a look at your road conditions, and I'll bring you some construction updates coming up for you in about 10 minutes.
Thanks, Paola. 5:04. We've been waiting more than a decade for this moment, and we are Super Bowl champs once again. Seattle is buzzing. The streets were packed with 12s last night.
And while we are tired, it sure is worth it. KIRO 7's Brooke Griffin is live in Seattle's Pioneer Square neighborhood. And Brooke, people got into some crazy shenanigans out there.
Yeah, there were just people everywhere down here in the Stadium District, also in Pioneer Square, just thrilled. And I mean, how can you blame them? It's pretty quiet now this morning. It's rainy and cold, and I'm sure everybody's finally tucked into bed. But a few hours ago, fans were just going insane. They were hanging off even the light poles. But right after that game, thousands of Seahawks fans left their watch parties and piled into Seattle Stadium District and Pioneer Square to celebrate the Super Bowl win. Fans were shouting and chanting, climbing on the light poles, climbing up on bands in the pergola, also shooting off fireworks in the street. We found so many of them who say, payback against the Patriots feels real good.
This is insane. This is crazy.
Communal. Everybody's happy. Everybody's having a good time. It's bringing us together. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun to see the city come together. And I've grown up watching the Seahawks. It's about time we win again and beat the Patriots.
And the Seattle Department of Transportation even issued a warning around 8:30 last night asking drivers to avoid First Avenue and Yesler Way because of those crowds. They say that the area had gotten so full of people that they were completely blocking the street. Now, I do want to mention that I'm not typically one to gloat. I feel like it's good to be humble, but the person who is behind this camera right now is a Patriots fan, and I'm not even a little bit ashamed to say that I've made him feel a little sad about it a few times already this morning. I think that'll continue. And come on, we have the right. Lindsay and Dee Dee.
Listen, you're just returning the favor from 2015. That's what friends do.
I know, and I want to say, we got to call out Tyler because he's the photojournalist behind the camera. He's been posting all over social media ahead of this, bragging about the Pats and
oh, he's covering the lens. Get out of here,
No,
Tyler.
show the hat, show the hat.
Thank you, Brooke and Tyler. Well, who's excited for a parade? This is a flashback to 2014 when about 750,000 people filled the streets of Seattle to celebrate Marshawn Lynch, beast mode right there, Russell Wilson, Richard Sherman, and the whole team's first ever championship. Paola Tristan Ruda has everything you need to know about the parade this year.
Yeah, guys, and this time around, the team will parade through downtown Wednesday morning. So they will follow 4th Avenue from Lumen Field to the Seattle Center, and then it will end near the Space Needle at Cedar Street. But first, the team will have a trophy presentation at Lumen Field. So doors for that will open at 8 a.m., and then the ceremony starts at 10, and then this parade will start at 11 a.m. But of course, it's all subject to change by the team and the NFL.
Heart desires will come to you.
Sam Darnold and Kenneth Walker III. You and the Seattle Seahawks had just won the Super Bowl. What are you going to do next?
We're going to Disneyland!
A trip well deserved. You heard it there. An annual tradition that the Super Bowl winning quarterback goes to Disney. It appears Darnold will be joined by Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker III. Now, Darnold's journey to the top is unlike anyone that came before him. He is the first quarterback in NFL history to win the Super Bowl on his 5th team. Before lifting up the Lombardi Trophy, he had a special moment with his mom, dad, and fiance.
Me and my dad don't really cry very often. And, you know, I told my dad I was, and my mom, but, I'm here because of their belief in me.
And just a fairy tale ending for Darnold as his family now packs their bags for Disneyland.
Oh, and of course it wouldn't be complete without an epic front page. This is what the Seattle Times looks like today. One word: redemption. Oh, you'll love to see it.
Meanwhile, things look a little different on the East Coast this morning. This is what the Boston Globe front page looks like. It says, taking a shot at destiny, something the Patriots couldn't pull off this time.
Oh, at 5:09. We're checking weather and traffic every 10 minutes, and we're checking in with resident Seahawks fan. Nick Allard. Sporting that dapper jacket.
I do heart this jacket. And I wanted to look ahead to specifically Wednesday. Yes, I still need to get you out the door, but let's just look ahead to Wednesday on your Pinpoint Future Track, because I promised this to you a half hour ago. So here you go. This Wednesday morning at 5 a.m. on your Pinpoint Future Track, that is fog, which means it'll be a clear and cold night. So you're going to have temperatures fall into at least the mid to upper 30s. At around 5 to 7, you can see there is quite a bit of fog. Now, if you take this from 7 through about 10, so as you're heading down there to get your spot, depending on what time you do, the fog doesn't do much. I don't think things are going to lift a whole lot by 10. But this is 10 a.m. and then this is noon. Take a look right here. Almost all of the fog by noon is gone, and then throughout the rest of the day, just a few clouds pushing through. So that does mean for the parade, I think you're going to be in the 30s to start with that fog, so it'll be cloudy early. Visibility could be down a little bit. At the very least, you're just going to have that gray deck, even if your visibility's fine. And then you're going to slowly clear, turning partly to mostly sunny throughout the day, just probably averaging during the parade at partly cloudy. It will be chilly in the 30s to start, but one thing I added is in 2014, the high the day we had the parade was 31. So this will be a lot better. Now, I do need to get you out the door. And if you look here at your Pinpoint Storm Tracker, we have this band of rain. So what I want to do is show you this is almost through. Then we're going to back up that Pinpoint Future Track and walk you through the rest of the morning so you can see when the rain pushes through, what you can expect for the rest of your day and, of course, your work week. Make sure you get that KIRO 7 weather app. Anytime we have some changes to the parade forecast, we'll send an update right to you. 5:11, though, real-time traffic with Paola Tristan Aruda.
Yes, and we have to talk about construction because there's going to be some road work that's going to happen later on today and tonight that you're going to need to watch out for. So I want to get you ready for it. I-90 westbound crews will close the Bellevue Way Southeast HOV on-ramp to westbound I-90 today from 9 until 3 p.m. Also, I-90 eastbound crews will close the left HOV lane. That's happening between East Mercer Way and 405, 10 p.m. until 5 a.m. starting tonight, every night until Friday the 13th. We also have 405 southbound, which will be closed from North Southport Drive, which is Sunset Boulevard, to SR 167. So that will happen around 11:59 p.m. tonight until 4 a.m. tomorrow, and there will be a detour route in place for you, but just something to watch out for a little bit later on. And we'll have another check on your road conditions coming up for you in just a little bit.
All right. Thank you so much, Paula.
I wouldn't have guessed that I would be the one to win the MVP.
Kenneth Walker wins MVP for Super Bowl 60. We're taking a look at his biggest plays that got him the title.
And I am Ranjit Sinha live in Tacoma. If you want that Super Bowl merchandise, well, you're going to have to get out early. I'll tell you when Dick's Sporting Goods is going to open these doors at several locations so you can get that Hawks Super Bowl gear.
George Holani's the running back. Fake to him. Darnold to the end zone. Barner's got a touchdown.
After 3 quarters without a touchdown, the Seahawks finally reached the end zone in the 4th quarter. And it's Sam Darnold to A.J. Barner. Woo! This put the Seahawks ahead 19-0 at one point. Remember that? Oh, my gosh. Now, despite the Pats battling back with 2 touchdowns, our defense slammed the door closed with a pick 6 from Uchenna Nwosu, solidifying the win. Seahawks as world champs again. Means everyone wants to mark the moment with merch.
Yeah, we're talking about Seahawks Super Bowl championship gear, shirts, sweatshirts, hats, you name it. Dick's Sporting Goods is making sure you can get it bright and early. KIRO 7's Ranjit Sinha live in Tacoma at the Dick's store there. Ranjit, there are extended hours for people who want to get that gear today.
Yeah, Dick's was ready as soon as that confetti started falling for the Super Bowl 60 championship Seahawks. And behind these doors, the merchandise is already out on the tables here at the Tacoma locations. They're going to hottest item right now, and a spokesperson for the store says if the Hawks won, there would be extended store hours. They were there yesterday, and they're going to be here today as well. Now, take a look at your screen if you can. These are the locations with extended hours. They include Northgate in Seattle, as well as Tacoma, where we are live this morning. And there are locations around our region that will be, of course, selling that Super Bowl merchandise, which is what everybody wants to get right now to mark this occasion, the Revenge Super Bowl. And, of course, people should get down to the locations before the items sell out, because frankly, when these doors open, if people are here, I think those Super Bowl merchandise, sweatshirts, t-shirts, whatever you want, it's going to be gone pretty fast. So bottom line, if you can get out here early, you might be able to get that merchandise, and hopefully they'll be selling it for a long time so we can mark this occasion. We're live in Tacoma. Ranji Sinha, KIRO 7 News.
I know they print a limited amount at first, Ranji. All right, thank you.
Well, football fans feel strongly about superstitions, and the connection between the head of the Catholic Church and the Seattle Seahawks is hard to ignore, especially after last night. Let me explain here. Now, it started in 2005 when Pope Benedict was elected. 10 months later, the Seahawks reached the Super Bowl for the first time ever. Fast forward to 2013, Pope Francis takes over in March. 11 months later, the Seahawks win the Super Bowl. And are you following the pattern? This is why Seahawks fans were excited about Pope Leo in March of last year. The prophecy continues. Somehow new popes are tied to Seahawks Super Bowl appearances.
And you know what else is going to be cooperating from above? Mother Nature.
Oh,
When it comes to
look like the pigeons. I don't know what we're going with on this one. They're going to skip the parade. I'm confused. They are. Mother Nature looks great. Just know, like I mentioned before, I think you are going to see some fog during the first couple of hours. But we get to lunchtime, and most of that clears. If you missed it, I am going to go through it again hour by hour in the 5:30 half hour. But let me get you up to snuff with what's been happening while you were sleeping, if you slept. We have some bands of rain that have been pushing through. It's a cloudy morning with temps in the low 40s, pretty standard. And the one thing I'll say is that the bands of rain that are pushing through now, we're kind of entering into more of a spotty shower pattern now. So, for example, that band I told you at 5:30 would take about an hour to get through. It's almost through, and now you have these spotty showers at the coast on your pinpoint storm tracker. There are still a few pockets where it's moderate to heavy around like Redmond to Maltby, just leaving shoreline. But look, Bainbridge now is already on the drier side. So if you look ahead, here's that pinpoint future track between now and 7. That pushes through, and you see some showers increasing, especially over the southwest interior and, say, the northwest interior around like Blaine, Bellingham, Burlington North. And then here's lunchtime. You can see it's just some spotty showers. Now, there may be the occasional heavy pocket, but the heaviest showers today will be at the coast, and that's where you could find an isolated thunderstorm or two. Notice you are seeing snow in the mountains as the day goes on. We're seeing at least a couple of inches for the passes, probably about 1 to 3, 1 to 4 inches. Here's 5 p.m., just some isolated showers, not much left. Really quickly into tomorrow morning. See, you have a little bit of rain left over Forks, Port Angeles, and Bellingham, but here's lunch. Look at all that sunshine. It looks great. And then from there, we just, again, absolutely just see some fog early on Wednesday, then we clear out. So some showers at the bus stop and just a few left by the end of the school day. But it is that kind of pattern where you see a little sun, then a few showers. And you see a little sun, and you just keep doing this thing over and over and over, and highs at around 50. In that pinpoint 7-day forecast with your weekend always in view, we see increasing sun tomorrow. We see increasing sun Wednesday. But no for the parade, probably some fog early. Mostly cloudy on Thursday, but still looking dry. And then we have showers coming in Friday and showers on Saturday. Not a lot for Sunday, but it is much, much cooler. And something else I want to talk about in the 5:30 half hour. We mentioned a few inches today, but later in the week we will see more snow in the mountains, so we'll watch snow levels as well. But first, coming up on 5:20, we got to look at real-time traffic. Here's Paola, Tristan, Arudo.
Yeah, we're starting to see traffic pick up just a little bit near Auburn. This is 167 right at 346th Street, but this is nowhere near the regular sort of volume that we typically see. Again, I'm sure a lot of folks have already called out this morning. Take a look at the real-time traffic map where you can see a lot of green out there. Not much slowing you down this early. Things may change, though, by the 6 o'clock hour. If you're traveling between Federal Way and Seattle right now on I-5 or 99, your commute looks pretty good. Same thing on 167. You're seeing a slight slowdown between Renton and Kent, but it's really not impacting your traffic too much. Same on 405. If you're taking I-90, it's really looking good all over the place. And if you're heading out from Snohomish County, here's a look at some of those drive times. Marysville to Seattle, about 37 minutes. Evans to Seattle, 24. Everett to Bellevue, 34. Bellevue to Renton right now sitting at about a 17-minute drive. So we'll have another look at your road conditions in just a few minutes. But if you do have to head out, you can get traffic updates on the KIRO 7 News app or listen live to KIRO News Radio.
Let's go!
Keep that energy going all the way to the Super Bowl parade. Will it be as big as this one back in 2014? We've got the timing and the route this week so you can plan where you want to watch.
Plus, our crew's on the field when the Seahawks won it all in Santa Clara. How the team got it done. Hear that answer straight from the players' mouths moments after it went down.
And an incredible playoffs for Kenneth Walker III. How the Seahawks running back made history last night. We got that in less than 3 minutes.
Second and 10. Trying to get Walker to bounce to the outside. There he goes. Walker down the sideline. Kenneth Walker.
Your Super Bowl MVP dominated the first half. This 30-yard gain was his longest of the night and set up a field goal. Kenneth Walker has been a standout since the Seahawks drafted him back in 2022. Now, he is the first running back to win Super Bowl MVP in 28 years, thanks to 135 rushing yards and 126 receiving yards. These stats pretty impressive. It wasn't just last night. K9 was a superhero all playoff long. In fact, he picked up more than 100 total yards in both the divisional round and NFC Championship game. And even as a kid, he never thought that this would happen to him.
If I would tell myself as a kid right now, I wouldn't have guessed that I would be the one to win the MVP. So it's just a real moment, you know, and it doesn't happen without the guys in the locker room.
Well, the Seahawks will have to pay to keep Walker. He becomes a free agent next month.
I hope we make it happen. Well, it was also a historic night for Bad Bunny, who became the first Spanish-language artist to headline a Super Bowl halftime show.
Hey, Titi me preguntó si tengo mucha novia. Hey, mucha novia. Hoy tengo una mañana.
Oh, it was so good. And with surprise appearances from Ricky Martin and Lady Gaga, Bad Bunny shared his Puerto Rican culture in the Super Bowl halftime performance. The special guests seen dancing in the Castilla in the middle included Cardi B, Jessica Alba, and Pedro Pascal. And remember this? 2 people even actually got married for real during the show. Bad Bunny used the performance to cast a message of unity, with a screen behind him reading, quote, "The only thing more powerful than hate is love." President Trump posted on Truth Social calling the show, quote, "absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever. It makes no sense, is an affront to the greatness of America." But for many people with Latin American heritage, it meant quite the opposite.
It's just a moment when we feel so proud to be Latin and so proud to be here in America, where we are making a stance for our own people, and he's doing that for us.
In San Juan, Puerto Rico, fans celebrated the artist, bringing their culture to the global stage.
And definitely one of the more surprising elements, the iconic sugarcane field seen throughout the performance. Look at this. This is how they got onto the field. They were people, each tough running to find their place on the turf for the show.
All right, if you think these crowds look crazy, just wait till Wednesday. The city is gearing up for a parade of epic proportions. What we know so far about the timing, so you know when to call off for work.
Plus, the stars of Santa Clara now getting ready to head home to greet the 12s. How these underdogs became the top dogs this football season, and how we're going to celebrate them this week.
Now on KIRO 7 News.
Seattle reigns above them all in the NFL. The Seahawks, Super Bowl champions for the second time.
And all these years we put in, it just makes it that much more sweet. I think Jason Myers needs to run for president. He's the best kicker in the league. I love Jason Myers.
We all love Jason Myers. The Seattle Seahawks win Super Bowl 60, dominating the Patriots in a 29-13 win. Fireworks erupting in celebration off the Space Needle and all over the city.
Thousands of 12s poured into the streets, partying into the night, and now we are getting you ready for that parade. We have live team coverage for you from Santa Clara to downtown to championship gear, hot off the presses in Tacoma. Let's start this morning with Eric Thomas live outside Levi's Stadium. Eric, what a night, and that win for sure helped soothe some old wounds.
Yeah, that is definitely guaranteed. Although Mike McDonald, Sam Darnold, they were not around for Super Bowl 49, of course. That game with the interception on the goal line, all in the past now after what happened last night here at Levi's Stadium. It was certainly cathartic for 12s, though, a chance to rewrite history and mark a new chapter for this franchise. Ricardo Lockett, yeah, Malcolm Butler, Super Bowl 49, all afterthoughts after what we witnessed last night as the Hawks dominated this game from start to finish, quickly making 12s in attendance. Forget about anything else except reveling in this title run. Although revenge is a dish best served in rival territory.
I think this was a game where we exercised a lot of demons in our community. 11 years ago was tough, and today we feel great.
As well they should. Even my cameraman Jade Noble's laughing at that quote, but especially with so many question marks as this dust starts to settle as well. Offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak is taking the Las Vegas Raiders head coaching gig. Some vets might have played their last NFL game, and this team we know could be going up for sale, but in this moment, it is pure bliss. Now, we have heard from the players and some 12s, the fans, but coming up in 30, we'll show some love to the architect, the guy who has put all of this together and pushed the right buttons now twice, GM John Schneider. But for now, live in Santa Clara, Eric Thomas, KIRO 7 News.
Thank you, Eric. And at 5:32, welcome to KIRO 7 News in the morning on this wonderful Blue Monday. I'm Lindsay Sheldon.
And I'm Dee Sun. We're getting you ready for all the celebration to come. Paula, Tristan Aruda watching that parade route, getting you ready for what you need to know for Wednesday. Meteorologist Nick Allard getting ready for this morning as well as Wednesday, too.
Yeah.
But it's going to be looking pretty good.
Wednesday will not look like it does right now at SCA. You can see right there it still looks wet, and it's going to be wet off and on throughout the day. There's the airport right now, and it's soggy. We still have one larger band of rain moving through that is almost through. In fact, it's just about east of Seattle now. But if you look at your pinpoint storm tracker, there is still more moisture off to the west. So what we need to do is zoom in on these individual bands and watch them, because from here on out, that steady rain, that same band of rain we had when we first went on the air, it's just about through the area. And that's just going to be tapering to some on-again, off-again spotty showers, which means that threat for spotty showers is there all day. There could even be a few pockets with isolated thunderstorms. Then, like Dee Dee said, it's going to be dry for a couple days, including for the parade until Friday. But we got to get you through some fog. It won't just be an easy one, but we can do it. We'll look at that coming up, but at 5:33, real-time traffic with Paola, Tristan Aruda, and we have that rain.
Yeah, we're watching out for some wet spots out there, but right now taking a look at I-5 right at Marion Street in Seattle, you can see it's pretty lively out there. If you do have to go to work this morning, at least you can do it with a smile knowing that the Seahawks won. Overall, though, no major issues or slowdowns. I'm tracking a little bit of a slowdown just along 167. This is typical for this time of morning in between Kent and Renton. You can see speeds right there, about 27 miles per hour, but that is, again, very typical for this time of morning. If you're traveling from the South Sound into the Central Sound from Olympia headed towards DuPont or Tacoma on I-5 northbound, really not much slowing you down, but we're going to take a look at your drive times coming up for you in about 10 minutes.
Thanks, Paola. Oh, man, Western Washington has been waiting 11 years to celebrate as Super Bowl champions again. And as you can see, they filled the streets last night.
And while 12s may have had a hard time waking up this morning, most of them are saying it was worth it. Bring on the celebrations. KIRO 7's Brooke Griffin live in Seattle's Pioneer Square neighborhood. Brooke, people are celebrating last night, and there's going to be more celebrations on Wednesday there.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's just going to be celebrating for the whole week. It started last night. Everybody just absolutely losing their minds after that win here in the Pioneer Square area. People were running around, going nuts, jumping up on light poles, of course on the pergola as well. You got to do that apparently every single time there's something big to celebrate. The energy in the city was just electric. Now, we told you about the people shooting off the fireworks, and they were also blocking off the intersections. The Seattle Department of Transportation even issuing a warning around 8:30 last night, telling drivers to avoid the First Avenue and Yesler Way area because of crowds blocking the road. We found fans everywhere who could not be happier that the Hawks brought home the win.
I can feel it. Seattle is an awesome city, and I'm so excited for this to happen. And like, look at it. Like you can't ask for anything better. Like it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Go Hawks!
And of course, those celebrations will continue throughout the week. Soon, Seattle police will likely start reminding people to celebrate responsibly and not let anything get out of hand. And as you can see, Lumen Field is behind me this morning. It's very, very quiet here at 5:30 in the morning, the day after that big Super Bowl win. But over the next few days, we're getting excited because that team is going to be right back here in this field, ready to celebrate yet again on Wednesday. Live in Seattle, Brooke Griffin, KIRO 7 News.
It's going to be crazy.
Cannot wait for that big celebration there at Lumen Field. And a parade. Thank you, Brooke. This is a flashback to 2014 when about 750,000 people filled the streets of Seattle to celebrate Marshawn Lynch right there, Russell Wilson, Richard Sherman, and the team's first ever championship. Paola Tristan Arruda has everything you need to know about this year's parade.
Yeah, guys, and this time around, the team will parade through downtown Wednesday morning. The Seattle Times is reporting that they will follow 4th Avenue from Lumen Field to the Seattle Center, so that will start right at South Washington Street up until Cedar Street. Now, first, the team will have a trophy presentation at Lumen Field. Doors for that will open at 8 a.m., and then the ceremony will start at 10. And then, of course, this parade will start at 11 a.m. This is all subject to change, though, by the team and the NFL. Didi?
Thanks so much, Paola. Now, fans got rowdy all across Washington, but especially at the Hall on Occidental, which is right next to Lumen Field. It was one of many places where 12s hunkered down to watch the big game before spilling out onto the street as the night got later.
This is the best day in 10 decades of Seattle sports. Bring back the Sonics. We are here. We are here.
The hall opened up at 10 a.m. yesterday morning for the 12s to snag their spot in a first-come, first-served basis. It was just packed. The popular spot was shoulder to shoulder in some spots, and you, of course, could feel that energy.
Oh, still feeling it right now.
Yep.
5:38. We're checking weather and traffic for you every 10 minutes. Let's check in with KIRO 7 pinpoint meteorologist and loyal Hawks fan, Nick Aller, taking a look at how it is today and for the parade day.
Parade looks great, and I keep having to take this thing off because then I disappear at the other wall. Because it's the green, it's the same thing, so a half of me goes away, which might actually up ratings. But if you look at your pinpoint future track, I'm looking ahead to Wednesday morning. It will be a clear and cool night from Tuesday into early Wednesday. And so what you'll be left with at 5:15 through 7 on your pinpoint future track, that is fog. So expect to have temps in the 30s to start the day. Now, check it out. Here's 7 through, say, 10 a.m., the time period when I assume most of you will be going down there to try to find your spot. And if you look at 10 a.m., you're still socked in. But I want you to really closely, I know it's early, trust me, it's early on the day after the Super Bowl. But if you have a second to look at the screen, watch from, say, 10 a.m. until noon, and I'm just going to point right to the center of the screen here, and you'll notice most of your fog is gone, and then we see sunshine. So I'm telling you, I do think you just have to deal with some fog early, but you will then see increasing sunshine. So it goes from cloudy and cool to eventually partly to mostly sunny throughout the day. And by the way, speaking of cool, with temps in the 40s by the end of it, you know, you had 31 degrees for a high back in 2014, so it was in the 20s during the parade. If you look at your pinpoint storm tracker now, we do have some showers. You can see right there over Seattle and more off to the west. This band of rain is going to keep moving off to the east, and it's almost through. Then we get a bit of a lull. But then what we switch into, some spotty showers. So for the morning drive, you will find some continued showers off and on for the morning drive. In theory, if it ever does want to pop up, although I think it, there we go. Some areas of just showers early. But for the evening commute, it's just a few here and there, so it will not be as wet. And I'll show this to you hour by hour so you can see it for yourself in just a couple of minutes. Make sure you get that KIRO 7 weather app to keep track of all of it right on your phone. But at 5:40, Paola Tristan Arruda is back with real-time traffic, and it's still wet.
Yeah, and you just mentioned that rain, Nick, and this camera right here at I-5 and SR 18. So this camera switched a couple of times on me. First it was getting the rain, now it's just getting the traffic. Again, I-5 right at SR 18 southbound, and it looks like there is actually a car that's blocking off that center lane. Not sure if that is an accident or a disabled vehicle, but again, if you're heading out on I-5 right at 18, you are going to want to move over because there is a car blocking off that center lane. Otherwise, not much slowing you down with the exception of some rain in certain areas. If you're heading out from the north down into the city of Seattle, things are looking good through Marysville down to Everett and then Everett to Linwood on I-5 or 99. Really not looking bad at all. Then we have that one typical slowdown along 167. Here's also a look at some of those drive times heading into the city. From Tacoma, about 50 minutes right now, so just a little bit slow. Puyallup to Renton on 167 right now, also sitting at about 38 minutes.
It's just so special. It doesn't happen often.
In the next 5 minutes, we're talking one-on-one with Steve Ravel, the iconic radio broadcaster for the Hawks, and our former news anchor right here on KIRO 7. What he says, you won't want to miss.
And I am Ranji Sinha live in Tacoma. If you want that Super Bowl championship merchandise, well, you're going to have to get out early. I'll tell you when Dick's Sporting Goods plans to open these doors so you can get that Hawks championship gear.
And they bring up pressure as well, and they get the knockdown as Witherspoon came under the pressure, and Uchenna Nwosu is going the distance for a touchdown.
And look at him go. A dominant season from the Seahawks defense with Devin Witherspoon coming in hot on Drake May, forcing this pick six on the biggest stage to seal the win. A special moment for linebacker Uchenna Nwosu there in his 8th NFL season. Now, somewhere lost under all this Gatorade is head coach Mike McDonald.
He is the 3rd youngest head coach to ever win the Super Bowl at 38 years old. Now, if you're like Mike and you're looking for some new clothes, perhaps, well, Dick's Sporting Goods has you covered. They're opening early this morning for the 12s. KIRO 7's Ranji Sinha is live at the store in Tacoma. And Ranji, they're opening early because a lot of people want their hands on that Super Bowl championship gear.
That is correct. Dee and Lindsay, Dick's locations were ready as soon as the clock hit all zeros on Super Bowl 60. And they're going to be selling this merchandise for a while, or actually until they sell out, because the bottom line, these doors are going to open at 7 and the merchandise is already in the store, as you can see. And of course, Super Bowl 60 merchandise, the hottest item right now. And spokesperson for Dick's said if the Hawks won, there would be extended store hours, and that is happening today. Now, take a look at your screen. These are the locations with extended hours, and they do include Northgate in Seattle and Tacoma, where we are live this morning at the Tacoma Mall. There are locations all around our area that will be selling that Super Bowl merchandise, so if you want to go out and get it, you're going to have to go out and get it early, and of course, people should get down to the locations before the items sell out. Now, I'm hoping that some people will show up and we can get inside here to see if we can try on some of that gear, because I'd like to sport some of it, maybe not for purchase, but I just want to show it off if I can. So get these doors open, but bottom line, in a little over an hour, I expect these doors to be open and some people getting that Super Bowl merchandise. We're live in Tacoma. Ranji Sinha, KIRO 7 News.
Oh, excited to see exactly what they have in there. Thanks, Ranji. Now, hot off the presses, Governor Bob Ferguson chimes in on social media with Super Bowl champions. Congratulations to the Seahawks, he says, on an unforgettable win. Best NFL franchise, best fans, best players, best coaches. What a special moment. And Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson also shared this video.
Huge congratulations to this incredible Seahawks team and the Dark Side defense for winning it all and bringing Seattle together with the loudest, strongest, most united spirit that we've seen in over a decade.
All right. Well, Wilson also made a bet with Boston's mayor, saying the winner would get FIFA World Cup tickets for children in their city.
Oh, look at everyone.
On how that plays out, too.
Yeah, cheering them on there. Well, it's history for Seahawks GM John Schneider. He is the first GM in NFL history to win 2 Super Bowls with an entirely new head coach and roster.
And, of course, there are lots of us with fond memories of 2014. Let's get to Gary Horker in Santa Clara, who spoke with the voice of the Seahawks and a KIRO 7 legend, Steve Rabel.
As the flurries of confetti in the Seahawks colors, of course, finally settled in, it finally started to settle in with the players and the personnel around the Seahawks, what they had just accomplished. And it surprised probably everybody around the country except for the Seahawks themselves, because, of course, they've got a high bar. They were sure of what they were going to accomplish here, and they just came out and did it, just like nothing but a business trip. Speaking of a business trip, we talked to the great Steve Rabel, voice of the Seahawks to this day, and anchor at KIRO for 38 years. He's a legend in both places, and he and I talked about what the last parade meant when the Seahawks won the last Super Bowl and what this one is going to mean to the veteran. You and I both covered 11 years ago that parade, and in the duck boats, and it was freezing cold, 1 million people. Does that ever get old?
Never, never. I have told Gary so many people that was the most amazing moment I think I've ever had. And not because we're in a boat and some people are looking and waving, but it's what we saw from inside the boat and what the players saw. It was 1 million people of all ages, genders, beliefs, colors, all a part of our community. That was the best part of that celebration. And I know those guys who carried the Lombardi Trophy, the Doug Baldwins and the Marshawn Lynches and those guys, they saw it. They saw what I saw. And it made me so proud of our community. And also proud that teachers let kids out of school, one way or another. So I'm looking forward to another great parade. It's just so special. It doesn't happen often, so let's really enjoy it.
Steve somehow preserved his voice, and he is going to look very much forward to this parade. And he says it means a lot more to him now that he gets older. He can just savor these things because he said, you don't know if these things are ever going to come around again. We understand the team plane is going to land there sometime later this afternoon. We expect quite a reception around the VMAC for Steve and the boys when they finally get home. Reporting from Santa Clara, I'm Gary Horker, KIRO 7 News.
Oh, yeah, there'll be a lot of 12s ready to welcome them home, that's for sure. Well, at 5:49, we're checking weather and traffic every 10 minutes. KIRO 7 Bin Boy meteorologist Nick Allard as he covered for today and for the parade on Wednesday.
And like we talked about a few minutes ago, Wednesday looks great. Just know that if you head down there, say 8, 9 a.m., it depends on what time you think you have to get down there to get a spot, maybe even earlier. It will be foggy, but you get closer to between 10 and noon, and especially noon. So, as the event's going, the fog lifts. So it's going to be foggy, and I'll show this to you hour by hour again if you missed it in the 6 o'clock hour. But live in Olympia, Everett, Arlington, and up at Stevens Pass, we do have some moisture out there. Now, for the passes, it is snowing right now, just starting to at least. 42 in Everett to 39 for Bremerton, 38 in Port Angeles to about 45 in Hoquiam. And I expect the passes to see, about 1 to 3, 1 to 4 inches of snow today with a little bit of rain mixed in. We will more than likely see quite a bit of snow at the end of the week for Friday and Saturday, because look at these snow levels. Today, about 3,000 feet. I jump ahead to Friday because I think you're mainly dry Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Check out Saturday and Sunday. 2,000, maybe 1,500 feet or lower on Sunday, but there shouldn't be a lot of moisture around on Sunday, and I did say that in an odd way on purpose. Your pinpoint storm tracker, some rain increasing across Friday Harbor into Bellingham, decreasing rain now between Everett and Seattle, and then you have these showers for the coast. So the next area to see showers will be Chehalis or Olympia, and then also you see some rain increasing in Everett, and that's going to leave Seattle any second now. Took about an hour plus, and that's on the way out of here. Now going to move through Woodinville and Everett. So the bottom line is, Dro Lopez in Port Angeles, we'll see. This was me watching the game.
Oh my goodness.
That's a dramatic recreation of me watching the game. We'll see some showers in Port Angeles. Just like everybody else, we'll see them off and on all day. Go to KIRO7.com/petwalk to upload those photos. It's just like a shower, then a sunbreak, then a shower, then a sunbreak. Pinpoint 7-day forecast. Tomorrow we have a little moisture early, then increasing sun, and then again, on parade Wednesday, fog in the morning, in the 30s and 40s to start, and then sun. Thursday still looks dry, but then Friday we have showers, Saturday we have showers, and Sunday should be cooler in the mid-40s, although it does look mainly dry. So again, let me show this to you for the parade, hour by hour here, coming up in just a few minutes, but at 5:51, real-time traffic with Paola, Tristan Arruda, and you've been seeing a lot of road spray.
Yeah, we still see a lot of those wet spots out there to watch out for this morning, but we're also seeing the regular traffic as well as some crashes out there. So right now, I want to show you a look at I-5 right at Northeast 80th Street. You can see on the southbound side those brake lights. So people are slowing down. That's because of that Revive I-5 traffic. But there's also a crash in that area to watch out for. So this is I-5 southbound. This is near Northgate. And you can see the backup that it's causing along this area. So that's going to add a couple of extra minutes to your commute. So make sure to factor that in if you are heading out. Otherwise, as we take a look at the Central Sound, you can see your commute heading up from Federal Way into the city of Seattle. It's really not looking too bad. On I-5, you see plenty of green. 99, no slowdowns as well. But between Kent and Renton on 167, you're starting to see those slowdowns. So add a few minutes to your commute there as well. If you do have to head out right now, you can get traffic updates on the KIRO 7 News app or listen live to KIRO News Radio.
Thanks, Paola.
Because you get to party with the Super Bowl champs, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, we do. A massive parade coming right here to the streets of Seattle in less than 72 hours. What you need to know to prepare if you want to attend or if you want to avoid the traffic.
Yeah, and in the next 10 minutes, we're live in Santa Clara, just hours after a monumental Seahawks win. What players and coaches had to say on the field moments after becoming world champs.
And so far in this game.
8:50 to go. Trying to step up and shoot one downfield. It's intercepted. Ill-advised throw in the middle. Julian Love has it. Love 50. Love 40 and out of bounds.
Now, just as the Patriots were starting to wake up in the fourth quarter, the dark side defense shuts it down. An interception from Julian Love helped the Seahawks add to their lead with a field goal.
We're going to be at work tomorrow. I promise.
Did they keep that promise? I don't know if those fans are making it into work today.
If not, they would be among the 26 million Americans who are expected to not show up for work or show up late. Welcome to the most popular sick day of the year. According to tech company UKG, 13 million people asked for the day off ahead of time. 6.5 million swap shifts with a friend. Over 3 million will pretend to be sick. And nearly 5 million are just going to show up late. 48% of Americans say they want Super Bowl Monday to become a national holiday. Gotta say, it's sounding pretty good.
That does sound like a great idea. Also, we have some rain to start your Monday, so if you're heading out early, you are going to have to deal with that for your morning drive. But I don't think you'll have to deal with it for the parade. We still have a couple challenges for the parade I want to make sure we talk about, though, here in the 6 o'clock hour.
Tell the mayor, tell the governor, there's a parade coming. Make the logistics necessary. We're going to party, baby.
Oh, we're on those logistics. Come one, come all, a parade coming to the streets of Seattle. We've got the timing and route so you can get the day off work or plan how you're going to avoid all that traffic.
And in the next 5 minutes, if you couldn't make it all the way to the Bay, we've got you covered. KIRO 7's Eric Thomas is live in Santa Clara breaking down the biggest moments he saw on the field that you might have missed.
Now.